Well, it is pretty funny that we see the Diamondbacks re-signing Mr. Perdomo on the same night that he gets absolutely hosed on a strike three call to end the WBC semifinal. I still can't get over how bad that pitch was, how bad that call was. Good pitch, great framing, bad call. Horrific call, honestly. Now, with our White Sox here, something happened last night. We pulled off a miracle. Nobody else would sign Paul Skenes. So we just slowly let our interest build and build and build, and then we got to offer him a deal, and he said yes. So we did have to give up compensation, obviously. There was a qualifying offer on him, but we have managed to sign, in his prime, Paul Skenes, which I am quite excited about. You got to look at some of his numbers over the last couple seasons. Is he on a 15-year deal? Not quite. Not quite, but it is a 9-year deal worth just under $34 million per. It is an unbelievably sweetheart deal. Just because nobody else pulled the trigger on signing him, we were just able to sneak in. We were just able to sneak in and make it happen. So that is, in theory, one of the greatest steals of a contract ever. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. And in terms of how this team is looking, we might need a different backup catcher other than Jackson Appel. But Matt Henley is here and ready to be our starting first baseman. We moved out Murakami. We moved out Toglia. And second base, we have Doug Felton. Did Skubal leave the Tigers in the save? No, he did not. Third base, we have Paul Cortez for now. Trent Broadway in the system. Colson Montgomery at short with Billy Carlson as a backup. Jordan Beck in left. Prepping for Louis Anderle in center. We might need a short-term option there. And then Braden Montgomery in right. So we had to move a couple of other people I wasn't exactly prepared to move to make these deals happen, but I think it's been worth it, to say the least. So we just need to double-check our trade block and our untouchable list. But Madroth, Gonzalez, Barry, all of those guys could go. That's not a big deal at all. Ramos, Sweespol, if we could move either of those two, that would be great. Carlson, Vargas, Lodi, Sparrow, like all these guys. All of these guys could go. Hugo Page might end up being our center fielder this year. Thoughts on the foul ball home runs? So from what I've seen, it's only happened at I always want to say Sky. It's Sky Dome to me still, damn it. Yeah, I mean, hopefully that's something that'll be patched soon. They did release a patch today. So
I'm just trying to walk through this fucking grass.
Shout out to Jay Clay for the follow, by the way. Welcome in. Acuna's only gone because we had to pull that off to get somebody else. Like, he was included in a counter offer to get a deal done. And we had brought in Louis Anderle from the Yankees, and it's like, okay, screw it. Let's pull the trigger on that because this kid's going to be ready real soon. Real soon. Elsewhere, what's up? How much better is this franchise compared to NHL? Much. much better, if we're being honest. If we're being honest. 2, 3, 4, 5... So, like, Christian Apor, Norman Kay, McCullough, Davitt, all those guys can go to the block. Let's see. Vasil, Leisure, Alberto, Miea. I mean, any amount of those guys can go. Have I made my March Madness bracket? I have not. because I have barely paid attention to anything college basketball this year. But obviously now will be a great time to start paying attention. All right, let's see. So Teal and Hicks untouchable. Henley's untouchable. Felton's untouchable. Burns. We had the maximum amount of untouchables already. Did we really? I mean, yeah, I guess Cortez doesn't have to be untouchable. Jake, what's up? I'm enjoying it. Like, I know some people are really upset that there's not a trade finder this year. I don't inherently hate that. Now, obviously, I think a trade finder is a nice feature, but if you're not going to have it, you do need a system like this. So I am glad that said system exists. Because we definitely had other games where there hasn't been a trade block, and it's like, okay, there really should be a trade block in this game, but I think we're doing all right. To me, Trade Finder makes it too easy. I mean, I do think it should be there as an option for people, I'll say that. I won't blame anybody that prefers that particular option. Yeah, we gotta be more selective with our untouchables list here. I do wish there was a quick click to clear. There we go, the untouchable list. Need at least a trade interest bar or trade finder. At least the option for it. I agree. But I'm not opposed to the idea of not having an interest finder. Primarily because, yeah, like you need to kind of do your research and send an offer that you're good with instead of worrying about like maximizing the in-games, like the in-game. Well, let me make sure it's a pure 1-to-1. Every trade is completely fair. Like, you know. All right, so if we just protect the top dudes in each spot for the moment. Basically protect our starters. And then we'll see who else we can add. Yeah, Skenes is definitely going nowhere. Moki, yeah, it's supposed to start up this summer. Speaking of trade AI, out of the park's much better than prior years. It's good to hear. You're right in that it's not the craziest statement of all time, but that's okay. All right, do we have any other A potential dudes are going to be sticking around here as well? Don't plan on letting go of any of them. B potentials we can talk, even if someone's a bit weaker as an A potential, they are staying. All right, there we go. There we go. And then trade targets. We had those third basemen in the mix. Okay. So as far as I know, and from what I was looking at there, we're not really worried about forcing any other trades. Like, if we could clear out people at second base, that would be nice. Clear out one of the third basemen, a couple of the shortstops. Bringing in a short-term center fielder wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But also, we do still have free agency going on. And with Diaz going back to the Dodgers, 3 years, $18 million. Some sort of value system. Some trades, there were 60C, 25 low prospects getting traded for stars, but I couldn't move mine. I haven't seen any deals like that, to be honest. That's interesting. Do we have anybody out there that is interesting? Cutter Crawford, we're fine. Motivation Max. Sorry, Cutter, I don't need you. Center field, Brenton Doyle, Jacob Young, Miles Straw is looking for a 1-year deal. Tyler Freeman, Johnny DeLuca, Blake Perkins. Miles Straw for the year, just a veteran center fielder. That wouldn't be too bad at all. That would not be too bad at all. See if we can get that done. Yeah, we definitely have some other dudes I wouldn't mind seeing dealt. Let's see. Shota. We do not need Shota. Miles Straw is interested in us. Big time. How much money can we save? Not as if we don't have plenty of money. We have $83 million to spend right now, which is nuts. And I imagine this will be us picking up Miles Straw for the year? No. He is not happy about being lowballed, which is fair. But at the same time, get lowballed, nerd. Please. Let's see. Jimmy Griffith is still out there for the Dodgers. I was hoping we could find some team. There we go.
I'm
so
just
like
trying to walk through this
the
fucking
Mariners here. And thank you to Eric for the follow. Welcome in. Welcome. Goodness. Welcome to the trying to distract myself from horrible umpire work in the WBC. All right, so these guys need a shortstop. So, what an advertisement for ABS. All right, so if we give up Brian Ramos in this deal, you don't really need second baseman, but would you like second baseman? Could be decent. Starters, we could use a pour on this one. How's Wario doing? Still in the early stages of AA. We're doing okay. I mean, we're dealing with some. Ooh, Mariners don't really have the budget for anything. That's their problem. How was I gonna say? We're dealing with the effects of low attributes right now, primarily. What if we trade you guys? There's no way they take this, by the way, but like McCullough, they just have no money. If we give you David Saint, he's making $1 million. Yeah, the Mariners aren't going to work for us. David Murdoch. Hello. They need third baseman. I mean, they also have no money available. Damn. George Graham at LA again wasn't looking for anything that we have a position of strength in. Last guy up is Hayden Davis, but again, the A's just have no money available. So, yeah, we're going to have to just... There was Ojeda there, too, but we've tried to get him plenty of times. We're just pretty much going to have to wait for a team to come to us. And there we go. A team did come to us. It is Tony Norris, that young third baseman that was just drafted. And, well, a center fielder, which we do need. Miles Straw hasn't accepted that deal yet. Luis Robert Jr., he is getting paid. Reds, I like that got hit. He is getting paid $18 million this upcoming year and next. But it moves out Billy Carlson, who I don't really want to get rid of. Like, he is a very defensively responsible shortstop, but he's a backup. He is a backup. Chase Majdroth, who we are trying to get rid of anyway, because he's also a backup. And then Alexander Alberto. I think we got to take this. We get a third base prospect in Tony Norris. 59 overall at 19. We get the center fielder that we need. You know, I don't really want to give up Billy Carlson, but it makes sense to get something for him now instead of, like, potentially stunting that development, you know? Like, he's just not going to be a starter here behind Colson Montgomery. Majdroth has been a very serviceable second baseman for us, but his time is up. I like that deal a lot. That is going to be accepted. So Luis Robert Jr. is back after 4 seasons away. He is back. Smelly, that's brutal. All right, Tony Norris and Luis Robert Jr. are in. So third base now. We have Broadway, Norris, Simons I don't like talking about, Presley, Chu. I mean, we are really trying to find that third baseman. And now Luis Robert Jr. is back in center field. He's getting paid a bit too much, but it is what it is. That is what it is. All right, I think we did pretty well there. And now we can tell Miles Straw to kick rocks, buddy. You blew it. You blew it. Sorry, pal. All right, so yeah, catchers. I mean, Appel is good enough to be the backup. Michael Turner even. We got Henley. We do need a backup first baseman. Second base, again, it's now Doug Felton. Did that say Skenes? It sure did. Again, hopefully Gonzalez or Barry gets dealt so that Felton only has like the one backup. Pressure. Cortez has plenty of options. Shortstops were good behind Montgomery. We have 4 outfielders if Hugo Page is the backup. And of course we pulled off the big Paul Skenes signing. So we're looking good. We're not you won't rebuild the Bucks, just take their ace. Hey, it was free agency, okay? And they got compensation. Going to be pretty rough, but we got Paul Skenes. All right. We do need a first baseman. But it's a backup first baseman, so we go front office, we go trade hub. We still got the block set up. The targets, I mean, these were all third basemen, but we got pretty much the top guy that we wanted. So let's just say... I mean, we could still look for a better outfielder. I don't really know if we need a third baseman now. I'm not going to say first baseman because we just don't need a starter. Hockey Kid, I'm not entirely sure yet because it's not like NHL where it just tells you immediately. But it's going to be a lot. What are the biggest positions of need? We have a first baseman. It's just we need a backup. We got a second baseman. We don't really have that starting third baseman yet. And then the outfield, I mean, hopefully Braden Montgomery is the guy, but I don't know for sure. Shout out to Mike for 110 streams in a row. That is ridiculous. Let's just say we're good in center field because of Anderle. Again, there really wasn't like the starting third baseman to my recollection. Like, we tried to get Marcelo Meyer for years. That just wasn't happening. Tried to get the ghost of Jose Ramirez. I don't really think, I mean, unless we tried to get Junior Caminero, which, I mean, maybe. I mean, we might as well set our sights high. I don't really want Gorman and Paredes for how much they're going to cost. I want somebody younger. Colt Keith. Again, we got a younger guy that can at least step in and play. So unless it's this drastic change at third base, I think we're fine. We tried to get that guy from Philly, and then again, they dealt him to the Angels, and I'm mad because he could have been perfect. Baum, Wagaman, Beatty, and Durbin both end up in Texas now. Seen the old school Padres Braves fight from '84. Maybe? That's not really something offhand where I'm like, hell yeah, brother, and he threw that right hand. I might have, I don't know. Shaw, Tenna, Bregman. Tommy, the 66 months in a row from Snowbury. We're averaging 3.5 centimeters of snow per hour. All highways leading in and out of the city are closed.
For ruining a good piece of pizza.
Enjoy your snow day, I guess. Thank you for the resub, though. Enjoy that sweet, sweet snow day. Catcher, I do hate to tell you. His time finally came. So it was nice knowing you. And we'll see you down the road. Yeah, we are just not going to get that that third baseman, unless it's Junior Caminero. For what reason? A good trade. He was a part of the trade that acquired us Jimmy Merritt and Gene Waldron from the Guardians. It also helped us get rid of Murakami. Jimmy Merritt is an A potential starter. So, they better be elite. He could be. He could be. And his name is Jimmy. Have you considered this? His name is Jimmy. If I was going to trade Drew Romo for anybody, I did trade him for Jimmy. Okay? Just think about it. Think about it. I get it, but I'm not thrilled. That's okay. That's okay. Oh, goodness. Goodness, good little Jimmy. God. Oh, 2011 WWE. What a time. 2012 WWE. No, 2011. 2011. Little Jimmy stuff started. That was a time. All right, we need to get the boys set up for this year. We need 2 other catchers in this system. Who are they going to be? It could be Tyler Stevenson, but that is a very expensive backup. But honestly, that's a pretty damn good backup to have. He, Luis Torrens, Connor Wong. There's really no younger pitchers that are actually, or catchers, I should say, that are actually that good. Mario Mosquera. Let's bring you in for single A purposes. Michael Chow. Let's bring you in as well. Wasn't that the guy that Washington drafted first, or like top 3? I'm pretty sure that, yeah, this is the guy that the Nats just completely swung and missed on. Shout out to Bearded. A tier 1 for 3 months in advance. Good Lord. Thank you very much for that. So that is now both players the Nationals have just totally swung and missed on. We've just picked up for the hell of it. Goodness. So we want to make sure Kyle Teal's in. So Kyle Teal is a beast against righties, but he's not that good against lefties. So if we could find... By the way, I just noticed, start of season, current, that's very sick. How did I just notice that? Can we find someone who's good against lefties? Stevenson's not that bad. Luis Torrens, Jonah Heim, Banfield. Did you miss the draft? No, at least not for tonight. Thomas Nido, the GOAT. So Teal is at a 61 contact against lefties. There's really nobody that much better. Like Connor Wong. All right, that idea doesn't really work then. Oh, what do we want to do then? We can just bring in whoever. Let's just bring in Deacon Rubio. Why not? We'll just go with whoever we have on roster to be a backup catcher, and we won't spend that money. We will keep it simple. So backup catcher will be... Ty will go to the veteran. Michael Turner. Congratulations, you are the backup catcher this year, buddy. We'll have... Well, I actually signed one guy too many. Whatever. We'll just leave him. It's fine. Michael Chow, single A. There you go. First base. We do need a backup behind Matt Henley. That's it. So as long as it is... And actually, let's look at Henley's stats here. He's good against lefties. He's decent against righties. Doesn't have much power against righties. But anybody at a sub 73 who's maybe more defensively oriented? Or we just look at see if there's a younger player that was left behind, but not really. Okay. So Chris Morel. Not the best at fielding. Carson Taylor. Nathan Martorella. Nick Prado. Nick Prado could be picked up here. Ty France. Ty France. Honestly, Ty might be good enough at the plate that he gets some options. Victor Bericotto. Also has a couple of quirks going. Jonah Bride. And Jonah Bride is pretty good defensively, which is what we were hoping for. Christian Walker. Let's go. That's weird. Ty France's reaction time to his right isn't that great. Jonah Bride. I will not give you a multi-year deal. I will give you a 1-year deal worth $1.3 million. Congratulations, buddy. Finally got around to the free version of Pro Spirits here today for being able to just experience the gameplay. It's pretty rad. It's fun. I mean, again, it's obviously very simplistic for what it is. Catcher, if you type that instead. Fine. Here's the make good to catcher so he won't be mad. We'll sign Nick Prado, who wants way too much money. But, the hell was I gonna say? Oh, Pro Baseball Spirits, yeah. Like, obviously, hopefully it is them properly, dipping a toe into the pool, being like, I know we're very protective of Japan, and the Japanese, intellectual properties and such, but, like, man, it's the U.S. Put stuff in English, and people will play that game, and they will. Hello, Davis. How did everything go? All right, second base. Probably have Gonzalez. Jacob Berry can go down to triple with Bruin Agbayani. Double A will be Muhammad Burns, Alex Skenes, and Norman Frazier can hang out in high A. All right, everything is looking fine there. Bride will be in triple. Eddie Trevino's not that good anyway, so yeah, I think that should work. I'm going to Disneyland. There you go. Third base, Mr. Cortez. Welcome to the majors. Paul Dan Cortez. Tie goes to the veteran. Brian Ramos will be the backup this year. We got a lot of third basemen. Which is what we wanted. And a lot of dudes down in high A. At least for the moment. Shortstop, Vargas. Congratulations. You will be the backup shortstop this year. So we wait to see if anybody else gets traded. Considering they also sourced out basically all their IPs to third parties, I'm cautiously optimistic. I mean, again, right? Like, you don't have to Americanize the game or Westernize the game, but it would go so far just to have Pro Baseball Spirits menus have an English translation option. It would go so far. Is 26 worth it if I haven't played since 21? I would say yes. I feel like enough stuff has changed over the past 5 years. I would think so. Also, I guess it depends on how into baseball you are right now, right? You know what? Am I happy with how this is looking? Not really. You know what? Walters go so far if umps weren't U.S. homers either. Imagine. Imagine. All right. Jacob Berry, I mean, we don't really care about you, so you're going down to single A, buddy. Muhammad Burns will go to triple with Agbayani. Sorta, yeah. They've been few and far between on the Pro Baseball Spirits games. All right. Again, we don't really care about Luis then long-term. We don't really care about Gross long-term. So Broadway and Norris will go to AAA. Simons, I'm sorry, but you're being overlooked now because you are squarely in bust territory. We'll prioritize Chu and Presley. Shortstop. We do have two guys that we care about here. And we are going to drop Ladis down to single A. We're going to drop Barrow down to single A. Bump these guys up so maybe they can eclipse a 70 and become a bit more tradable. And double A will be Eddie Hernandez and Gene Waldron. The outfield. It's pretty much decided. Triple A for you. Triple A for you. Let's put Riggs in double. Pettit in double. So that's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, we need two more outfielders. Preferably both in left, but let's see who is out there. So, is anybody that kind of got left behind? Hello, Buster Beltray. He's only a D potential, but we'll still sign him. Anybody else? Andreas Feliz. We'll sign him too. Any other younger player? Rory Ackerman. Brandon O'Connor. Byron Churio. Michael Hess. Anybody else? Antonio Muriel. Simon Juan. And we'll go for Willie Ramiro. Simons is the guy our scouts up. Yeah. He was the defensive first third baseman that could not have been any worse. He sure was. All right, let's see. Who's going to make it into AAA here? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Double A. Pretty much anybody at a sub 60 is out for the double A conversation. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Double A is 1. Drop this guy down to high A. Ackerman. So yeah, we got a lot of D potential guys just to see if somebody can actually improve and become somewhat usable. I doubt it. But it's worth a try, you know? Why not? We got all those extra roster spots. Try to put them to good use. Okay, so 1. Actually, it's at a C potential. We're going to want 1 in there. So Brandon Riggs is D potential. He's got a decent rating. And then Buster Beltray. Riggs, we're going to drop you down to single. Can AI manage the farm well? I haven't fully tested it. I have tested the renewable signings and everything like that, which for the most part, they're relatively smart when it comes to that. They might on occasion let go of somebody that you didn't want them to get rid of, but it hasn't been anybody crazy. Like the best I've seen them get rid of is like a low 70, you know? All right, so that's good. Starters, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 with a pour. So Norman K goes down. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 with McClendon. So then double A is 1, 2, 3. All right, so we need 3 starters, if we can find any, for the minor leagues here. Anybody? William Wood. Sign him up. Mark Forbes. We have a full roster. There are a couple of starters there that might be worth checking. All right, so you know what? Catcher-wise then, Michael Chow. I accidentally signed you. Congratulations, you'll get $45,000. Because I made a mistake. Where the hell was Mark Forbes at? Actually, let me see. Do you have... Yeah, D potential... D potential, D potential, D potential, D potential. D potential. All right. Well, Forbes, bring him in. You're helping out a family. Yeah, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is there anybody else that it makes sense to get rid of? I guess one of these first basemen that we brought in, like Bryant Walters. It's just not that good. Enjoy your 45 grand, Bryant. Turns out I didn't need you. I never said I wasn't a wasteful GM. We'll bring in Curtis Brock. Alright, so that'll help Double A bit. And then 4 relievers. Ideally, we want these guys in there, so that's 3, 4, 5, and 6. So Gonzalez will be on waivers. Mieo will be on waivers. So that's 3, 4, 5, and 6. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Double A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 to balance it all out. Gary McCormick, you're down to high A. Hate to tell you. All right, we should be good once those waivers go through. So Michael Turner, backup catcher. Nick Prado, backup first baseman. Felton and Gonzalez at second. Cortez Ramos at third. Montgomery Vargas at short. Outfield is Beck, Robert, Montgomery, and then Hugo Page is the depth option because we have Louis Anderle, who's going to be ready to take over shortly. And again, I still cannot believe we managed to add Paul Skenes through free agency, but we pulled that off. We pulled that off. All right, cool. Cool. Staff contracts. Okay, we did lose a scout. At least one, because, yeah, now we're up to 15 grand. This middle scout needs to be replaced. Walter Scott. Jesus, that guy is unbelievable. Let's get rid of Olszewski then. Because that is one hell of a scout. So we got to look at somebody sub 87,000 or so. Anybody that makes sense here. Yeah, Robertson's not that bad. Leafs legend Nick Robertson. This guy's efficiency sucks. There's got to be somebody half decent at that price point, right? I think Robertson's about as good as we're getting. That works for me. That works. Save early, save often. Even though apparently there was a patch that was supposed to fix some stability issues, we'll see if that's actually the case. I really hope it is, because this game has, game mode specifically, has crashed on me 5 times in the first couple nights. So, what year are we in? We are heading into, what, the 2030 season? So, I mean, we've been at the helm for a little bit now. Still got a bit of a ways to go. Most wins in a season were 79, but as they say, Rome was not built in a day. Top prospects entering this season. Matt Henley falls from 3 to 4th, but I mean, he's about to go to the majors. So we do have a top 4 prospect. And then outside of that, we should have quite a few more people. Jimmy Merritt at number 17. Eddie Hernandez at 18. Anybody else? Gary McCormick, number 34. Brady Turley, number 40. Trent Broadway at 46. We have a top 5 farm system right now, with those 6 guys inside the top 50. It's not bad. That is not bad at all. We have rebuilt decently well. And we shall see what this team will do this season, especially, again, like Luis Robert in center field, Skenes as our ace, which is just nuts. So our pitching rotation this year is Paul Skenes, Shane Smith, Sean Burke, Hagen Smith, and Noah Schultz. With the bullpen being Christian Apor, Mike Vasil, Sandy Cox, Jordan Leisure, Rondell Williamson, Benito Vizcaino, and our closer, Grant Taylor. It's not bad at all. Not bad at all. And our lineup. We have Doug Felton. I was a bit worried about this. Doug Felton, Kyle Teal, Colson Montgomery, Luis Robert, Jordan Beck, Braden Montgomery, Paul Cortez, Hugo Page in a DH against righties, and Brian Ramos. Henley does sub in at first base against lefties. But yeah, Hugo Page is actually going to get a little bit more playtime than I expected. So, it's a little bit by committee here, but with young players, some other guys that we're trying to maybe be able to shop a little bit, I don't hate having a bit of a rotation, you know? That said, we are 0-8 to start this season. My God. Whew, so Skenes has 2 losses already? He sure does. With a 5.23 ERA. At least he's still a 99, but he might be cashing in. He might be cashing in on that paycheck and then just not doing anything from there. We shall see. Okay, if we talk about what we need in this draft, it's honestly probably a little just the best players available, really. Like, we have Kyle Teal at catcher, but we don't really have a good replacement in the system for him. First base, we have Matt Henley. He's the guy for years to come. Second base, we have Felton, Burns, Quiones, Frazier. Like, we're fine. Third base, we got Broadway, Norris, so many other guys coming up through the system now. Shortstop, we do have Hernandez. Okay, I'm thinking catcher, I'm thinking left field. I'm thinking catcher, I'm thinking left field. And then center field, we have Anderle, so that's good. Right field, we have Garrett Beavers, but probably right field as well. So catcher, corner outfielder, and then just general scouting. Should probably be our approach this year. Probably. So let's start there. Scout position. Catchers in the West. Honestly, just have everybody look at the catchers. We'll do it that way. We'll do it that way. Try to get as much info as we can. 2-13. We're going to set records, baby. 2-13. I'm here for that. I did not think we'd be this bad at all. All right, let's go catcher central. See who else might be there. Because in that instance with the West, right, there were only 4 catchers. Like, we should have them very well scouted. I cannot believe how bad we are right now. I cannot believe how bad we are right now. 4-17. Is Paul Skenes hurt? He must be. Paul Skenes suffers a shoulder tear. Just, I believe, 3 starts, maximum of 4 starts into his White Sox career. How did this team win a World Series in 2005? Because they are absolutely cooked. It's kind of insane how bad this, how cursed this team is. All right, week 3, we still look there. That's fine. Holy. I mean, we did have a decent pitching staff prior to Skenes getting here, but, damn. Damn. All right. 10-24. How are we this bad? All right, that is the catchers that we needed to look at. Let's go left field here. Let's go left field since we are still primarily scouting for need as opposed to anything else. We did have a top 5 pick, but I don't remember if that holds or not based off of compensation. Well, we just had 3 scouts scout 1 left fielder. So that dude should apparently be fully scouted. He's on 80%. He's not even that good. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Now let's look in the Central. See what else we can find. We'll see if this scouting strat pays off. It's not looking like it's going to. We also haven't gotten a single trade offer so far this year. I don't like that. Nobody wants my garbage. But it's beautiful. So I noticed the positions just constantly seem to reset. That needs to be that needs to be addressed. And you know what? Let me mark that down. Let me mark that down really quickly. Actually, no, I'm going to tweet it to Mills. Goodness. All right. There we go. So I didn't forget. White Sox are cursing after 25. Yeah, 25 years after. There we go. So we, as mentioned, well, I mean, in terms of what we're looking at right now, though, what are we even looking at right now? We have a catcher, we have a first baseman, a second baseman. I guess we could look for a better third baseman, could look for better outfielders. We'll leave it at that. All right. Well, apparently the highlight of this season will be the draft, in which case we're not even sure what our pick situation is going to be. Because we acquired a man who immediately suffered a shoulder tear. If that is not this team to a T, now at 19-40, then I don't know what better sums up White Sox baseball. I don't know. Yeah, we gotta hope the draft here goes our way. 21-45. 20 games back in this division. Whew. 20 games back in this division, huh? Back to tanking. Not necessarily intentionally, but apparently. 24-48. It's never good when you're unintentionally tanking, you know? It's not where you want to be. Skenes is at least off the injured list, but second baseman Bruin Agbayani has torn his ACL. Skenes has just 38 innings pitched so far this year. Thankfully, though, like he's not dropping. In terms of rating, he has dropped with some attributes, though. Every single attribute that has one of those little arrows on it is indicative of a change, and all of them have dropped by at least 1. Ay. All right. Didn't she used to have a player named Boston, too? I think so, yeah. And we got a couple players from Maine. We're very New England themed here, don't you know? All right, and then the final one here will be international right fielders, and then we will do a little bit of cleanup scouting for anyone who looks like they could be pretty good. But, blockbuster trade. Tampa acquires Miguel Garcia. 30 years old, 87 overall. Alec Marsh, last year of his deal. And Eloy Jimenez, who was absolutely cooked for Jefferson Caro, Michael Foret, and Gregory Barros. Not the worst deal in the world. Like, the Royals get younger. They shed some salary. Not a bad deal at all. Okay, Tampa. They get Casey Mize. Now 32 years old, 84 overall, making $30 million through next season for a very good C potential prospect, Ahmad Miller. Now, I know for some people they're going to be like, dude, he's a C. He is a 78 overall at 19 years old. That is nuts. And don't sleep on C potentials this year. Good Lord. Good Lord. All right, we have 2 weeks left of scouting. Our first pick this year is in the fifth. It's 5th overall. We did forego our second round pick to sign Skenes, so that's not that bad, really. So the question is then, 5th overall, who is at the top of this draft that we are going to want information on in case they fall to us? So that's not too bad. Isn't that a player at his peak already? Not necessarily. Not necessarily, but it does mean that his ceiling just isn't going to be higher. It just means he's closer to his peak. Could he cap out there? Yes, but he could also grow a bit more too. So, like, that guy's not going to, unless that potential goes up, he's not going to hit like an 87. But could he easily hit like an 82 or an 83? Yeah. Okay. Ronald Brooks, projected 1st overall. Eldridge Lebowski at shortstop. And Howie Wilson in center field. Starter, short, and center. Let's look at those guys. Their second scout's ass. He's not great. That's because our other scout left. Then again, you could argue how good of a job he was doing anyway. All right, so according to our guys, Lebowski and Wilson both dropped, but Ronald Brooks is the real deal. So if that guy falls to us, 5th overall, that's an absolute must. I mean, we could look at Lebowski more, but let's get information on Nigel Hobson. Shortstop, or a couple second basemen. There's also a first baseman in there. Couple of first basemen, couple of second basemen. Central, International. Ooh, okay. So hold on here. Let us do you, scout position, international second baseman, and we can get information on both of those guys. And then the other guy can look at central-based first baseman. And then do we want to look at Hobson, or do we want to look at Joaquim Quiros? Since everybody else is covered. Or we could look at one of the starters, Alfonso Cortez or Ford Chavez. I mean, the fact that Quiros is showing up as 65 to 99 on both, I feel like we should probably look at that guy. I feel like we should probably look at that guy just in case. Let's save here so we don't have to redo all of our scouting because we know how this game works. Still random crashing issues in franchise. I guess I'm glad it hasn't happened to me yet, but man. Well, is that patch even out yet? I thought it was. All right. Well, this season so far has been atrocious. But the 2030 draft is here. Again, we have the 5th overall pick, then we don't pick again until 87th. But in terms of players that are up there, right? Seems like it happens pretty regularly after the draft. I feel like it happens most at the beginning of free agency. It's like the game gets freaked out by some of the moves that are happening. So Ronald Brooks, Tom Lewis, Nigel Hobson, who we didn't even get to look at, Quiros, I mean, pretty much, you know what? Let's just see who's there for us when the time comes. I think it was St. Louis that won the lottery, if I'm not mistaken. No, and I am. It was the Mets. St. Louis was the team that got screwed, and they fell way down. So the Mets have the first overall pick in 2030, and they take Rufus Ruffing, 40th projected starter. They've learned from the Washington Nationals, I suppose. That is crazy. That they pulled a U. Hey, I never took somebody that lowly projected. They pulled a Nationals. Rufus Ruffing to the Mets. Second overall is right fielder Tom Lewis, who was one of the guys I was kind of hoping would fall to us. Tom Lewis heading to the Rockies. So that first projected pitcher is still there for the moment. We'll see how far down he falls. Because third overall is center fielder Nigel Hobson to the Tigers. That first projected starting pitcher is still there. And there is just one pick separating us from being able to draft him. Will San Francisco put us behind the 8 ball here, or will they make this choice very, very easy? Shit. Ronald Brooks goes to San Fran. We have 3.5 minutes to decide who we want here. So there is this shortstop, Joaquim Quiros, 35% scouted. Dude, okay, I know this guy is only 35% scouted. That's a lot of green. That's a lot of green for Joaquim Quiros. Holy hell. And he's only 18 out of Puerto Rico. I'm tempted. There's first baseman Kevin Fielder, who's only 15% scouted. Obviously, the ranges look pretty good. We don't necessarily need a first baseman. There's also a lot of green there. Not as much as the other guy. Starting pitcher Alfonso Cortez, 10% scouted. 22 years old. Again, we don't know much about the ranges, really. Obviously, he looks amazing. Chavez, I should say. Stephen Broom. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of guys that look good. Right fielder Elijah Hutchins. That was one of our positions of need. Good fielder. Probably pretty average at the plate. I don't know if that's the guy. That overall range kind of scares me. Center fielder Howie Wilson. No chance of an A potential. I don't even think he'll be on the high end of his range. You know, closer to a 78. I think he'll be closer to a 68. There's Baker, Tuttle, Eldridge Lebowski, this shortstop. The ranges are nice-ish at a 54. Maybe. A lot of the guys we were trying to look at, like Kevin Bourbon. Peter Cherry. Andreas Cuevas. The other right fielder we were looking at, Andreas Ibanez, I don't think is the guy. A lot of, we were focused heavily on positions of need. There's not a lot there. There is a left fielder, Mark Kraft, who we discovered. He could be good if he's still there in the 3rd round. But yeah, I kind of agree. I think we just swing big here. I think we take a big, big swing. Otherwise, it's like going for Dan Pittman or somebody like that. Like, do we just go for Joaquim Quiros? Like, is he going to be that good? It's like a 99% no. But what if it's that 1% chance that he is actually that good? What if it's that 1% chance? There is not anybody here in that position of need. I mean, you could argue maybe the starter, Cortez or Chavez, but we did just get Skenes. Let's live a little. Joaquim Quiros at shortstop. Let's see what happens. Why not? 5th overall to the White Sox. We'll see. We'll see. I can't say I have too much faith, but it's worth a shot, right? 24% motivation's a little less than ideal. I agree with that too, but we can give him money. So we go all the way ahead to the 3rd round, in which Rod Frederick, Jeff Kent, except Obama will take half your signing bonus. Let's look at, I mean, Rod Frederick here doesn't look that good, right? Not at all. We could take a chance on Jeff Kent. Hitoki Chan. Oh, God, I just remembered the timer. Juan Ramirez. Rich Vasquez. Pablo Vasquez. Crazy potential, probably a really low overall. Guzman could be worth... We might just go Vasquez for the guaranteed good potential. There's also a closer, Tim McCall. JJ Dudek. It's a lot of relievers. Why do I have a feeling Tim McCall is going to be good? I don't know. We're going for Pablo Vasquez. He'll have a pretty low rating, but at least the potential will be good. Maybe he'll grow quick. And we did need a right fielder, right? Round 4. Rod Frederick is still there. Robert Daniels is there. We could take a risk on him. James Watson. Ronaldo Poe. Jessica Ojeda. Closer Garrett Joe? Claylis. Mariano Villanueva. Samuel Costa in center. Obviously, we're just throwing darts at the board here. The fact that one guy might be as low as a 30 overall is pretty concerning. Poe was a shortstop. I'm going to go for the closer, Garrett Zhao. Garrett, welcome in. We'll hope for the best. 4th round closers tend to be pretty good. Robert Daniels is still there. Tommy Melvin is there. Armando Espinoza. Kenny Coleman. Paul McNeil. It is like all closers. There's a catcher who's not that good. Billy Hayes here. It is not looking good. Memphis Horn. CJ Hood. Waylon Castilla. Oh, man. Do we just take somebody for the name value alone? Yeah, Memphis Horn is a hell of a name. Let's take a risk on Robert Daniels here. Why not? Our scouts found him. Maybe they're right. Maybe he's good. Wow, all those other dudes are off the board. Shit. Yeah, Rod Frederick. Our scouts might be right about him. He might be the guy. I mean, because otherwise, Julius Zamora, Alex Tachicki. Yeah, I mean, otherwise we're just going way off the board and truly hoping for the best. So, unless there is just somebody here that is just so stupidly good. But yeah, we'll go for Rod Frederick. Welcome in, Rod. All right. That draft was the personification of just darts at a board, hope for the best. Because what we needed the most in terms of positions, it wasn't available. It just simply wasn't available. So, you know, that was the problem, I would say, for this draft. I'm visualizing our scouts going, we looked at this guy for one game. He's had the best players. Terrible. And, yep, Crashy, I sure did. I sure did. I don't need Stone Sour sad boy music right now. I need Punk Rock 101. That's what I need. Oh, Home Run Derby is today. Gunnar Henderson and Brent Rooker tied for the league lead in home runs. Mike Trout is back in California as a Dodger. From the Angels to the Mets to the Dodgers for the still 81 overall 38-year-old legend Mike Trout. That's nuts. Ring chasing, I guess so, right? What do we have for an All-Star this year? Paul Skenes did not make the All-Star game. Obviously, his injuries wouldn't have helped. Oh, my. Oh, my God. I think we successfully had the biggest swing and miss in the history of drafting. I don't think there is a bigger fuck-up in the history of drafting in professional sports. This guy was projected first. Our scout said he was mid, so we took somebody else, and Tampa took him second. Pedro is 22 years old, and he is a 97. Didn't someone pass on Freddie McDonough? They did. They did. You're right. You're right. That is the second worst miss, except in this case, I was the team dumb enough to not take Freddie McDonough. Wasn't it the Sharks? It was the Sharks, I think. Yeah, and then we got him in Anaheim. At least we're not based in Florida, then. Our All-Star this year is second baseman Doug Felton. Good job, Dougie. But yeah, god damn it. There is nothing worse than seeing someone that you could have drafted who your scout said, nah, he's not that good. And then he turns out to be the next Mike Trout. Joaquin, we really got to work on you. Robert Daniels, can we get you signed? Not immediately. Pablo Vasquez, can we get you signed? Yes. Rod Frederick, can we get you signed? Yes, so then we are down to our 3. Okay. And Daniels can be moved to that bronze position. So, not a bad start in that regard. Not bad in that regard. Crash, the song is dedicated to you. All right. Kidaros, those ranges have already shortened up quite a bit already. Mr. Daniels has signed. He's going to be a top 3 player in the league for like a decade. Uh-huh. In the American League, no less. Imagine swimming for 40 days and 40 nights. It's going to be an awful draft. For us, yes. Oh, yeah. Kidaros is already down to 87s at best. Oh, yeah. Again, this is the problem when you draft for need instead of best available. We probably should have drafted for best available, given it was the 5th overall pick. But it is what it is. Yeah, Kidaros is already down to 85s. Blockbuster trade. The Mets have dealt Francisco Lindor, Jacob Young, Angel Zerpa, and Carlos Vargas to the Giants, and they get Antonio Vesperis, who we saw a couple years ago, Arjun Namala, Kevin Alcantara, and Miles Traynor. I don't hate it. Lindor's 36. He's still very good. Honestly, Crash, you're not wrong. He's making 34 mil. Jacob Young's not bad. It's a cap dump for the Mets, but it's also getting back young players, and Alcantara is a good replacement for Young right now. I don't hate that deal. Yeah, T-Boyle, I'm paying attention to the main event, waiting to see what the hell's going to happen. This has been ridiculous. Oh, boy, yeah. Well, we'll be lucky if he's a C potential at this point. Well, Joaquim, you certainly don't deserve that amount of money. Oh, man. Yeah, maybe we should have just gone for best available instead of need, but it is what it is. We didn't get a single offer before the deadline. It's true, he might not even sign. We just got to go all in for him money-wise. Jesus Christ, he didn't even sign! Well, we wasted a 5th overall pick. The guy didn't even fucking sign. Well, at least we have Paul Skenes. The guy didn't even sign. However, at least Pablo Vasquez was pretty good at a 52 overall. Joe is only a C. Or Zoo. Daniels is a 47, and Frederick's a 64. I don't think you gassed up your tank. So the rest of the draft outside of Garrett was okay, but yeah, we didn't even get the guy. I mean, let's be honest, he wasn't going to be that good anyway. If anything, we just kind of saved some money. But, you know. In the main event, man, goddamn. That is very interesting. Well, we'll have to see what happens in the case of not signing 5th overall pick Mr. Joaquim Quiros, because that is, that might, you might be able to call that complete mismanagement on my part. We went for need, and we didn't even get that, and then we went for the best available, and he sucked, and we didn't even get that. So, yeah. Looking elsewhere, Cleveland, not the best draft. Detroit, Nigel Hobson, who was 3rd overall, I think. 73 overall, he's not bad. And Richard Molina's a 54. You're turning into a prototypical White Sox GM. Kansas City, Landon Starks, who's a 61. Emerson Bell's a 58. Rich Zuniga's a 52. A 40 for CJ Hood. And a 44 for Alex Tachicki. So, big projects in Kansas City. Minnesota didn't get much. Houston with Chase Bove, who's a 57. James Ritson, who's a 54. And a lot of unsigned dudes. Angels with Kevin Fielder, who's a 65. Dan Pittman, who's a 61. Emerson Thorman, a 51. Athletics, not a ton. Terrence Emery's a 66. He's pretty good. That is that type of closer that we were looking for. Damn. Damn. Seattle, Robbie Santos is a 72 out of the gates. Not bad. And Lance Kranz is a 50. Texas with Elijah Hutchins, who is a 55. Vern Parker's a 65. Atlanta, well, at least Eldridge Lebowski was worse than the guy that we didn't sign, I think. But they also got Alex Houck, who is a 51. Miami with Jonathan Carver, who's a 62. Harvey Kranz, who's a 73. Looks to have been another pretty weak draft. First overall, Rufus Ruffing. The Mets did okay. The Mets did okay, all things considered. With that pick at least, and then Gregorio Feliz at a 70. Quite a few misses, but the hits were pretty damn good. Phillies, nothing crazy. Washington finally got a half-decent player, and Randy Thorman, 68 overall. Cubbies with Steven Paulino at a 65. And Billy Hayes at a 53. Cincy, Stephen Broom, he's a 64. Miguel Benitez, a generational closer at a 72 overall. Johnny Aguila at a 65. Alfonso Villalobos at a 57. That is a generational bullpen draft. Milwaukee, Andreas Cuevas, a 61. Eugene Kubek, a 71. Toki Chan at a 63. And Mariano Mercado at a 60. Pittsburgh with Luis Gomez, a 67. Pretty sure that would have been the guy they picked for losing Paul Skenes as well. St. Louis with Adam Davis, a 67 overall closer. That's about it. Arizona, not much of note. Colorado's second overall pick, Tom Lewis, is a 70. And Sebastian Osuna is a 55. Dodgers, Mark Kraft at a 59. And Tim McCall, who I nearly picked, at a 68. Damn. San Diego, Ben Campaneris, a 48 overall. San Fran did not sign the 4th overall pick, Ronald Brooks. See, they should have taken the shortstop, and I should have taken or been allowed to take Ronald Brooks, but no. They screwed it up for both of us. Then they got Aaron Pryor, who's a 62, so could you tell they needed starting pitching? Baltimore, good God. Rafael Gallegos is a 59. Scott Amasa's a 60. And Raul Robles is an 83. Ernie Sachs is an elite name. It's true. Make a note, he'll be there next year, hopefully. Red Sox, Ibanez isn't bad. Ricky G. He's like a BG. He's a 59. Memphis Horn was a 45. Yankees with Josh Baker, who's a 63. Keo Harper, who's a 59. And Samuel Costa, who's a 57. Tampa, Enrique Bravo, who is a 61. And Toronto with Ryan Tyson, who's a 62. And Armando Espinoza, who's a 54. At least we got Pablo Vasquez and Robert Daniels, but yeah, that takes the cake for the worst draft. That was a lovely opportunity with a top 5 pick, and we blew it. I risked it by going for need instead of best available, and it didn't end well. It did not end well. Kyle Teal's out for 2 to 3 weeks, so I guess Michael Turner will be the guy. You know, we'll call up Jackson here. Let's get another catcher on roster. And then, do we have anybody in AAA that's a pitcher? Norman K. Congratulations, you will get the call up. Congratulations. Let's get this season over with, can we? Somebody else must be hurt that I didn't see. Who else is hurt? It's got to be another pitcher. Mr. Miea. Hey, let's go 40, man. Yeah, fuck it. Juan Miea, you are on the 40, man. Good. Welcome to the majors, pal. Let's just get this season over with. This has been atrocious. And now we'll win towards the end of the year to screw ourselves out of a draft pick. Matt Henley just broke his forearm. He is out for the rest of the season. So, this has been a disaster. This has been an absolute disaster of a season. We didn't take a step forward. We blew the draft. Just blew it. This has been a rough calendar year for the White Sox, as Luis Robert is going to be out for the rest of the season with a broken foot. I guess we'll call up Louis Anderle, probably, or Dino Hernandez. Who else is on the 40 man that can get called up? Sway Spell here from Single A. Why not? Lottery luck doesn't help when the scouts lie to you. That's true. Oh, so many injuries. So many people. Can we just send down Hugo Page? He sucks. Thank you. Just get me to the end of September, please. Our AAA ball club was atrocious. AA, not much better. What happened with the draft? We just didn't do that well, and our 5th overall pick didn't even sign us. Ogre, it will be uploaded separately to the second channel, yeah. All right. Well, not the best season, that's for sure. Playoffs this year. Blue Jays and Athletics. The winner plays Boston. Cleveland, Minnesota. Winner plays Seattle. On the other side, San Diego, Atlanta. Winner plays the Dodgers. And then Philly, San Fran. Winner gets Milwaukee. We finished as the 2nd worst team in the American League, only above the Orioles. And we finished tied for the 3rd worst record. So only the Orioles and the Rockies were worse than us. I don't know who the tiebreaker will go to for the 3rd best lottery odds next year between us and Cincy, who are both on 65 wins. We'll have to see what the deal is with that once we get there. In terms of how we did this year, Kyle Teal played in 97 games. 10 home runs, 33 RBI. He was still good. But obviously he missed a lot of playing time this year, which is not ideal. I feel like that's safe to say, right? I feel like that's safe to say. First base, the rookie Matt Henley. 14 home runs, 42 RBIs, 12 stolen bases, 839 OPS. I mean, not bad at all. Did get hurt to end September, but we definitely got to be happy with Henley. He's gone up 4 points already. And he has Rally Monkey as a quirk. Second baseman, Doug Felton. This was the year for him to take over. 16 home runs, 57 RBIs, an 855 OPS, and an all-star appearance. Good job, Dougie. Good job, Dougie. 3.4 WAR on the season. Not bad. Third base. This was Paul Cortez's chance, and he hit 20 home runs and had 71 RBI. 313 on base. So, when he didn't hit the ball as much as we'd like, but when he hit it, he did damage. That fielding percentage, though, yeah, I didn't want to talk about it. We're trying to focus on the positives here, Billy. Yeah, Cortez wasn't too bad. He's also up to a 77. Colson, 34 home runs, 83 RBIs, and 823 OPS. Did have 150 strikeouts. 4.7 WAR on the year, not bad. Jordan Beck, the former Gold Glover in left, 19 home runs, 69 RBI, straight 7s for an OPS, 151 Ks though. Doesn't look like he'll be winning another Gold Glove here, but, positive WAR at 2.2. Luis Robert returned via trade that fetched us a nice third base prospect. 21 home runs, 54 RBI. Hugo Page hit 18 home runs and had 59 RBI. Both of them were at a sub-7 OPS, though. And a lot of strikeouts. Yeah, Hugo was barely above average, and it was a 2.1 for Luis. And then Braden Montgomery in right, 17 home runs, 58 RBI, a 676 OPS. How do you do fielding-wise? 980, yeah. Not a good season for Braden Montgomery. And he is certainly at that age now where you got to be like, I don't know about this guy. as being the guy. For said pitchers, the two closers that we have, which aren't even necessarily closers, but Williamson and Cox. Actually, here, let's just look at relievers and just look at pitchers in general. Skenes did finish the year with a 12-8 record, right back to prime Pirates era, a 3.11 ERA, and barely more wins than losses. He regressed in some ways, but improved in others. His stamina, home runs per 9 went up. So, yeah, let's see. It's 177 Ks for him. Hagen Smith wasn't too far off, but he also had probably 2 more starts. Close to it. ERA-wise, Jordan Leisure wasn't great. Rondell wasn't great. Yeah, Vasil. Lowest for a starter was Skenes. 13 quality starts for Paul. Nobody else had more than 8. And Skenes led in WAR despite the time missed due to injury. No one was in the negatives, which is kind of shocking. Sean Burke was not good this year. 5-14 record for Sean Burke. Miea, Taylor, Skenes, definitely the best of the bunch. Tough to find a positive after a season like that, after a draft like that. I suppose the only positive is that it's over. The Seattle Mariners. The Marineras have won their first World Series. They beat the Brewers in 2030 in 5 games after making it past Cleveland and Vegas. In this timeline at this point, they'd be Vegas, right? So Seattle gets it done. Led by Yordan Alvarez, Julio Rodriguez, Cal Raleigh, Andreas Munoz, Joe Ryan, Chris Bubich, Josh Naylor, Alec Boehm, Seiya Suzuki. See, you need a Japanese right fielder, Seattle. That's what you need. That's the key. That is the key. Yeah, that Yordan contract he signed was crazy. Yeah, $41 million a year until 2037. As per usual, he is an absolute franchise god. No other way to put it. So in terms of awards, Alec Boehm is World Series MVP. 2 home runs, 6 RBI in the series. And they knocked out the defending champs, too, in the Athletics on the way there. Which is kind of nuts. He was also the key player. Rightfully so, 13 RBI. In the ALCS, Jorge Polanco, really Kerry Carpenter was the key player there over Polanco, let's be honest. AL MVP Juan Soto of, you see that correctly, the Boston Red Sox. The Mets wanted out of that contract, and they have made a mistake because that is back-to-back MVP awards for Soto. And, yeah, he deserved it. And again, the Blue Jays with Henderson and Devers. It's nuts. NL MVP once again is Shohei Ohtani. He wins out over Kerry Carpenter and Ronald Acuna Jr. And yeah, I can't disagree with it. That's the right winner. AL Cy Young once again to Tariq Skubal. Can't disagree with that at all. Over Justin Steele and Bailey Ober. So I mean, for Skubal, still rocking a 99. 33 years old. Muted, what's up, dude? And I mean, that trophy cabinet now. 4-time Cy Young winner. And a 5-time All-Star for Tariq Skubal. NL Cy Young to Jesus Luzardo, which... yeah. I mean, he or Logan Gilbert, well, that lower ERA, man, I would have gone for Yamamoto. 2 fewer wins. I would have gone for Yamamoto. Muted, all right. It hasn't crashed tonight, so that's good. AL batting title to Juan Soto. NL to Ronald Acuna Jr. AL reliever of the year, Jeremiah Estrada. Yeah, I can see that as the right winner. Munoz has a strong shout with all the extra strikeouts and 4 extra saves, but much lower ERA for Estrada. NL reliever of the year is Cade Smith, and that is the right call. Ryan Walker and Ryan Kerkering were up there too. Your AL Rookie of the Year. God damn it. It's the right choice, too. I really thought with Henley or Cortez we'd win it, but they finished runner-up to Charles Pagan in Minnesota, and that is, it's not a debate. He was the right winner. 21-year-old first rounder in 2026. That's the right choice. NL Rookie of the Year, Earl Dugan. Remember Earl Dugan winning Rookie of the Year with a 173 batting average. Jesus. Over Eduardo Tate and another legend from the past, Sherwood Favre. So, I mean, clearly factoring in the home runs and the RBI, but yeah, under the Mendoza line and won Rookie of the Year. All right. Hank Aaron Award winners to Soto and Ronald Acuna. Did we have any Gold Glove winners or Silver Sluggers? Nope. No Gold Glove winners. No Silver Sluggers either, I'm guessing. Oh, good. Oliveros won a Silver Slugger. That's great. Oh, boy. Yeah, that was, of all the seasons there have ever been, that was one of them. All we can really look at is like, oh, player progression. That went our way, because outside of that, not much else really did, if we're being honest. And William Wood just retired due to ability, which is fine. He's just kind of nothing. Oh, Carlos Estevez is gone. Simon Miller. He's gone too. Aaron Nola, Nestor Cortez. Blake Snell. Will we have any Hall of Famers? No. All right. Ghostbuster, we just finished up in 2030. As per usual, we like to make a lot of progress, and we definitely need to sign Justin Edmonds as a hitting coach. Oh my God. Please. That contact and power boost, please. Exclusive free agent negotiations. Oh boy. Shane Smith, who had been our ace prior to the Skenes pickup, wants $27 million a year. At that point, we might as well hit him with the qualifying offer and see if somebody signs him in free agency for compensation. At that point, we might as well. We will qualify Shane Smith. Sean Burke, who is now 31, wants $17 million a year. Are you worth $17 million a year? Got better in some ways, worse in others. Went 5-14 this year. Yeah, Sean Burke's going to go. That is not a $17 million a year pitcher. Sign and trade is honestly pretty risky, because what if we get stuck with him? We're just going to let you go. I don't really want to risk getting stuck with you. Jordan Beck. We don't really have a good left field replacement for you right now. $15 million a year for a 78 overall. There's no way. There's no way. There's just no way. Like, he wasn't bad at the plate this year, but prior to that, he was under a 7 OPS and under a 3 on base for the last 3 years prior to this. 4 years prior to this, actually. Yeah, I mean, there's just no way. It's just way too inconsistent. I mean, maybe you could say, hey, he's finally growing into actually being worth a contract. But at 29, Jordan Beck's going to go as well, which means we have a hole in left field to fill. And then reliever Mike Vasil. Jackal. It's a jackal. Jackal. Yeah, Mike's going to go too. All right. Yeah, I'm not going to risk signing trades with these guys because if we get stuck with them, we're paying a bunch of money to dudes who aren't necessarily worth it. I only like signing trades if there is a chance that if we get stuck with them that it's not nearly a bad thing. Burke, Beck, and Vasil, they're just not worth the money. But we'll let Smith go to free agency, and we'll see if he comes back for a boatload of money. But yeah, Burke, Beck, Vasil, they are going to go. They are going to go. And we will continue to save often, just in case of stability issues. And we did get that hitting coach, which is really nice. Should get that Judge kid. I heard he's pretty good. You know who I really need to get for my team is that umpire from tonight's game. Holy shit, I'll never lose again if he's on my team. What's going on, Baffle? What is going on? Also, Baffle, I did miss it, and I meant to message you, because yesterday was a busy day. I hope Bafflemania went well, and I will need to give a late contribution to the madness. The least I can do is tell people to go follow old Baffle99. That's BAFL99 on Twitch. Do it right now. If you're in chat right now, hit the little button at the top of the chat. My computer crashed on Friday. I didn't miss it. Am I happy about that? Like, I'm not happy about that. But also, I didn't miss it. But that sucks that happened. But also, I didn't miss it. I'm conflicted. Free agency this year. Free agency. Sucks, but it'll be better in the long run. There you go. All right, at catcher, we still got Kyle Teal. Pell and Turner are both there. We got no one that we're really risking losing. Mascara and Rubio, we can probably just drop, I would think. And if they're still there next year, then cool. Oh, first baseman. Henley, of course, looking good. Prado was signed to a 1-year deal, so we're going to release him for the moment. We're also going to release Jonah Bride. And then Verdung is just not getting any better, but we'll keep him because it's renewable. Actually, we won't keep him because he sucks. We could keep Robert Root, though, I guess. Yeah. Drop him, too. First base is looking pretty thin now. Second base. Felton's up to an 82. We got Gonzalez. We got Barry. Agbayani. I don't want to lose for nothing. Okay. Third base. Cortez, Ramos, Suispel, Grayson Gross. And he's still 20, but he really hasn't shown any improvement. Broadway, Norris, Simon. My God. So many third basemen. Shortstop. Otis, Vargas, Boston, Barrow. We'll add to the 40-man. Acuna. Bunch of these guys we're still just trying to get rid of, ideally, but hopefully not for nothing. Left field. Jesus. Okay, well, we certainly have an issue in left, don't we? Mike Pettit, you can go. Buster Beltray, you can go. Andreas Feliz, you can go. And, yeah. Center field, Luis Robert, we're going to have for 1 more year. We probably will try to deal him unless we buy him out for $13 million. But we won't do that. Anderle to the 40-man. Dino Spumoni Hernandez to the 40-man. Hugo Page, you're just awful. He wasn't. He actually produced a bit, but he's going to go. Brandon Riggs is going to go. Chirio's got to go. Brandon O'Connor, you got to go. Michael Hess, get out of here. And then in right, nobody to put onto the 40-man. If Simon Juan gets claimed, whatever. Muriel, you are gone. Ramiro, you are gone. Okay. And for the pitchers, we look okay there. Chris Murphy, let's get onto the roster. Dick Gilmore will drop for now. Again, any of these guys, if they get claimed, whatever. Kevin Thomas can go. Gerardo Silva can go. Felix Taveras can go. And for the starters, we'll put Duncan Davitz and McCullough onto the 40-man, but we will drop Antoine Kelly, who is not that good. Will be Santana. Again, I have not seen any examples so far of a D potential dude improving up to a C, so sign him for filler and then cut him, basically. And immediately save again, because we don't want to lose progress. I know what's going on. Appreciate that. I will say most of the work with the NHL roster files now is... It's definitely Vassy taking the lead on that. I'll say that. He deserves the vast majority of the credit. I'm a fucking glorified consultant at this point. I don't want to say the passion for roster editing has been beaten out of me, but sometimes you can say things without actually saying it. Arbitration this year. Felton and Montgomery, because we dropped Prado and Bride for now. So Dougie Felton, 6.4 mil for 1 year. We just offer him the 11.4. So yeah, 6.4. That is not what I wanted to do. Shit. Wrong button. There we go. And if we offer him arbitration, 6.4 mil. Just to give him a fair deal. And then Braden Montgomery, I have my concerns, but we're not letting go of you yet. All right, and 3.8 for the year. Definitely have my concerns about him, though. All right, and yeah, let's just save again. Free agency time is normally when we've been having these crashing issues in franchise so far this year. So we're trying to be safe here. And then tender contracts. Now, again, the AI can do this on their own, and typically they'll be okay. But for some lower-rated guys that do have potential, you might want to just play it safe and do it yourself. Again, we had like a mid-20s, 72 overall first baseman get dropped and not have his contract renewed. So I haven't seen any examples of a really good player get dropped, but definitely like those fringe major leaguers or some lower-rated C potential guys, if you want to make sure they don't go anywhere, play it safe. Handle them yourself. But I think, if someone's like, I kind of don't really know what I'm doing, I just want to have fun, like the AI does a decent enough job of keeping you on, the rails in a positive direction. But yeah, if you have a better idea of kind of what you're looking to do team building wise, playing it safe, can't go wrong. It takes, a minute and a half? If that, just to renew the deals you want to renew. So, no big deal. Especially for me, too, when I drop all those D potential guys, it makes it really simple to just know who we want to renew a deal for. And once you get into that flow state of pressing the buttons, it honestly goes by pretty quick. Now, again, do I wish I could set certain parameters of the renewables to kind of tell the AI, like, hey, renew anybody with at least this potential? Or the other idea we threw out last night was a checkbox. And yeah, Daniel just mentioned it in chat too. We mentioned that last night. Just a little check to say, do you want to renew this deal? Yes. And that way you can just quickly flow through the players. Like, it was a decent thought for how they added the auto renew, but it could be better. It could definitely be better. Whether it be the checkbox or, again, let me set parameters for the AI to say any player of at least this potential, this overall, automatically renew no matter what. You know? Yeah, that took me about, 90 seconds, 2 minutes tops, so it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Okay, so looking at the team right now. Let's save again, just in case, because I really don't want to have to waste that 2 minutes again. Really don't want to have to do that 2 minutes again. What are we looking like roster-wise now? So again, catcher, I mean, we'll in theory need a backup, but actually we're probably fine. First base, we definitely need a backup, and shout out to No Flow for the 80 in a row. The big 80, the year Toogie was born. Get out. Can I see the Dodgers roster? Sure. Give me a second, though. So again, backup first baseman. Cortez is still fine there. We need a starting left fielder. Badly. Backup first baseman and a left fielder. Unless there is just somebody who is an undeniable go out and get him. And, of course, we might still have a starter coming back. Yeah, so, I mean, obviously we're 5 years into this franchise, so this Dodgers roster is going to be pretty different, but those are the key players that are still there, including Shohei now at 36, and he's still a 93. I mean, he is still unfrickin' believable. Unbelievable. But, all right, free agency. Let's at least take a look. I don't know if we'll actually bring anybody in. So top catchers, Drake Baldwin, Alejandro Kirk, Carson Kelly. Drops off a bit from there. Nobody that we need. First baseman, Ben Rice, Pete Alonso, Josh Naylor, Matt Olson, Kyle Manzardo. Nobody at the high end that we need. We'll bring in somebody for dirt cheap in spring training to be the backup. Second baseman, Brian Rocchio, Jackson Holiday. Only an 82. We're better off with Doug Felton. We are better off with Dougie. Third baseman, Junior Caminero. Oh, my God, and it's no qualifying offer on him. We're going for him. We're absolutely going for him. I mean, unless those stats are just brutal. Look at the power he would add to this lineup. Jesus Christmas. 45 home runs. He's had at least 42 home runs of each of the last 4 seasons. I'm sold. Sold. We're going for him. We jokingly kind of put him in the, hey, Tampa, if you want to trade him pile. But no, we're going for him. We have a lot of third base prospects. But yeah, Paul Cortez, like, move over, buddy. Move over. Shortstops. Daniel Schneemann. Jose Caballero. Nobody that we need. Left field, James Wood at 28. There is a qualifying offer on him, but it could very well be worth it with how badly we need a left fielder. Otherwise, Dominguez is there. I'm gonna think about adding James Wood. Is there anybody else? Center field, Jesus. Pete Crow Armstrong and Evan Carter. I mean, again, in center, we do have Louis Anderle, who is Major League caliber now. He's just not ready to take over for Luis Robert, but he should be by next year. But in left, we don't have anybody. Armstrong, Carter. SB, go away. We'll consider that deal for Wood, but Crow, Armstrong, and Carter, I'm going to say no. And then right side, Brent Rooker, Dylan Cruz, Seiya Suzuki, Addison Barger. Okay. What about pitching? Closer, Dennis Santana, Justin Martinez, Abner Uribe. Martinez could be interesting. Especially with almost 100 strikeouts last year. And then outright relievers, Griffin Jacks, Jose Buto, Garrett Clevenger. And what about starters? Ranger Suarez, Spencer Schwellenbach. Could be interesting, but again, we do have a starting pitcher in Shane Smith who has that qualifying offer, so we got to wait to see what he's going to sign for. Okay. Players I'm interested in. Caminero, number 1, easily. Wood and Justin Martinez are probably the most interesting ones. So definitely focused on Caminero. Can I please go to the left? Thank you. And then team needs right-handed batter, power batter. There we go. Caminero is the complete focus for this team right now. Save again really quickly. I'm paranoid, man. I am paranoid. When the game has crashed 5 times on us since launch night, I am very, very paranoid. Okay. If we look at the trade hub, we can reset the trade block. Again, I wish there was a quick clear button for the block, but that is what it is. Terms of the block, at catcher, Kyle Teal, still untouchable, that's fine. Arthur Hicks, probably also going to be untouchable, we'll see. Henley, nobody on the block there. Honestly, Appel and Turner can both be on the block. I thought it crashed. There we go. Second base. Smelly, that it did. I'm going to have to watch some of it back because some of it was out of the corner of my eye. But, obviously just a very, very long show. A lot to talk about after it, though. Okay, those guys can be on the block. Lotus, Vargas, Barrow, Acuna. There it goes. That's why we keep saving. That's why we keep saving. It's like I'm heading down an A too fast for the game to keep up with. It just doesn't know what to do. Crash number 6. We have Paul Skenes. We sure do. And he immediately suffered a shoulder injury. Oh, man. Yeah, it's just you. It's like you almost move too fast for the game logic to keep up with. Which is just nuts. Goodness, goodness. All right. This game seems a little slower and bugger than previous. I mean, I wish I could say I was surprised when you have some of these changes. Like, just in terms of what it looks like, the way the navigation works. I wish I could say I was surprised at some of the crashing errors that happen, but whenever these yearly release sports games seems to change those aspects, that just always seems to happen, you know? Again, wish I could say I was surprised, but I'm not. You know, nature of the beast. serves as a reminder for people that, hey, yeah, are you thinking about getting a yearly release sports game? Or honestly, any game out of the gates now? It's like, make sure it's something that you're really going to enjoy. You know, if you're in my case, like, okay, it helps if you're a streamer to just be like, all right, I'll deal with it. But again, if you're just a regular, everyday player of these games, non-content creator, they really don't give you too much incentive. Not just like MLB The Show. We're talking any video game out there right now. They really don't give you that much incentive to get games the second they come out. Because outside of like pre-order bonuses, you know? Like, I will say, like, you know, a game like Resident Evil Requiem didn't really have any issues with that, at least, but that's also a game that you know that they had plenty of time to work on. Whereas with MLB The Show or any yearly release sports game, there's a limited schedule to get stuff done. All right, Colson's going to stay for the moment. Anderley's not going anywhere. Montgomery's probably not leaving. Skenes definitely isn't going. Meg, what's going on? How are you? All right, let's see. We got 10 more spots on the untouchable list. Any A potential dudes? B potentials, we could at least talk. Actually, you know what? I mean, for the most part, let's just leave the block pretty well open. Let's leave the block pretty well open. Just see what happens. The untouchables list, at least. And then trade block-wise, 1 year turnaround bad for sports games. They make too much money to care. Yeah, basically. I mean, that's always where the conversation goes, right? When you talk about yearly release sports games, is obviously these games could be much, much better than they are, but it is just typically not worth, as they view it, as, and not they as in the developers, but their bosses, they view it as not worth it. We would rather have a yearly game to show, you know, to freaking investors, shareholders, hey, look, we generate this much every year instead of this much every 2 years, especially with like Diamond Dynasty, Ultimate Team style modes. It's just the way it goes. That is just the way it goes. We all know it at this point. It is what it is. I'm trying to wait until the player picture loads in before I hit the button. Dino Hernandez definitely can go to the block. Luis Robert can go to the block. And then starters. I mean, honestly, K, Apor, McCullough, Davitt. Oof, I'll tell you. That's what happens with the long shows. That is what happens. Capitalism. If you're not making money, why do you exist? Yeah, basically. That is basically the name of the game. All right, so what do we need? What do we need right now? We know that we need potentially a third baseman. Can we already pencil in Roman Anthony for AL Rookie of the Year this year? Injuries happen, so you can never say never. Or never say anything's a guarantee, but certainly optimistic. So, I mean, primarily right now it's a left fielder. That is the big need. And maybe another strong bullpen arm is going to be the go-to. Let's actually go third base. Yeah! Got a splash. Very much for the raid. How'd the stream go, dude? All right, all that is still good. All right. let's move. See if we get any offers or anything. Yuri Perez has been dealt to Atlanta at 27 and an 87 alongside Javier Sanoja, an 80 overall second baseman. For prospects, Douglas Baker, Dieter Fuentes, and Manuel Castillo, a good closer. That's a good trade. Like Fuentes can technically replace Perez in the rotation, even though he's worse. And then second base, they got a closer and a right fielder for. Not a bad trade at all. All right, where do we stand for these free agents? Caminero does have interest. It's just whether or not we'll be able to get him on a good deal. But the money that we saved in the Skenes trade, if we hand to Caminero, it's not that bad. So, Splash, thank you for the primer as well on the 3. Sal Stewart. Now, see, this is one that people are going to be like, wait a minute. 3C potentials, wait a minute. But let's take a closer look here. So, Sal Stewart is not currently signed. 88 overall at 27. For Victor Lizarraga. Okay, middling starter. Decent younger starter in Braun. Okay, that's definitely one where it's like, yeah, no, the Reds needed to get more. Unless they just weren't willing to pay what Sal Stewart was looking for. But is that a great return? No. These type of deals have been more rare, I feel, than they were in previous years. But if some people are like, still not happy with that, I understand why. Now or never for James Wood. It's only 35% motivation to sign. It's not going to happen. And he is going to go to Philadelphia for 9 years, $38 million per. Jesus Christ. Yeah, we weren't competing with that. So the number one free agent in James Wood gets $342 million from Philadelphia. Ranger Suarez on his way to the Dodgers for 2 years, $37 million per at 35 years old. And of course, it's the Dodgers, so they also got Spencer Schwellenbach for 5 years, $30.6 million per. And Shane Smith is going to remain a free agent. Maybe we will talk to him. Ben Rice heads to Tampa, 3 years, $22 million per. All right. Well, Caminero is now willing to at least talk to us. In terms of starters, we'll at least talk to Shane Smith a little bit. So that's starter, closer, third baseman. PCA I'm not interested in just because of the compensation it would require. I mean, Wood would have required compensation as well, but... I mean, we need an outfielder, but we really need more of a corner outfielder, not another center field option. Still waiting for Doug Felton to decide what he's doing. Dennis Santana, have I tried out of the park? This year's game, so far not yet, but we did play a fair amount of 26. Big issue is it just comes out at the same time as this, you know? I only have so much time. Dennis Santana's heading to Minnesota. Now or never for Junior. Fuck. We just didn't get enough time to build up the interest. The most we can do is 9 years, $34 million per. We'll try. But unlike with Paul Skenes, just other teams gave him the big offers he wanted earlier. So let's see. I don't think he'll sign with us for that. We needed more time to build up interest. Did we get him? No way. Alrighty then. 9 years, $34 million per. We get Junior Caminero after all. The contract might age terribly, but with the money we saved on the Skenes signing last year, it equals out, and we didn't have to give up compensation. And Shane Smith is going to walk. He's going to head to St. Louis for 5 years, $28.5 million per. Congratulations to him. But we got the number 1 free agent last year and now the number 2 free agent this year in Junior Caminero. Holy hell.